Yeah, yes, I really want to pursue MBA, but the thing is that most universities require 3 to 5 years of work experience. I have less than 1 year work experience. Please tell me a solution to this because I don't want to pursue anything but an MBA. Don't worry. The best program for you to go to right now would be MIM, Masters in Management. Now, this is not that different from an MBA in that it is exactly for people like you. This originated in Europe, but now is more popular in the US as well. And it's for people essentially who are maybe from non-business backgrounds or even from business backgrounds but have very little work experience and want to pursue an MBA. Today, I'll tell you about the best universities, the cost, rankings, and I'll tell you about whether it is worth it to actually go ahead and pursue an MIM instead of the normal MBA, wherein of course you'll have to first spend 3 to 5 years gaining that work experience and then applying. Let's start with the cost of pursuing an MIM because that is something that is extremely important. Now, MBAs are proven to be some of the costliest degrees on earth. But for MIM, the typical costing is just between $45,000 to $60,000 even if you do it in the US for the entire program. And the reason I talk to you about the entire program fee and not the annual fee is because most MIM programs are just between 10 to 12 months long. Many times, worst to worst case scenario, it will be 1.5 years long, but it's almost always an average of 1 year long. Keep in mind that based on where you're living, you might also see living expenses somewhere around $15,000 to $25,000 on an annual basis, which is basically going to be only one time for 1 year, of course. And if you're staying in areas like Boston, New York, California, you can expect to pay somewhere close to $20,000 in many cases. On top of it, minor additional costs like buying books and insurance, all these things might add up. But overall, if you look at the complete expenses, you're looking at somewhere around $60,000, $65,000 to somewhere close to $85,000, $90,000 in the worst to worst case scenario as well. Now, before we talk about the top universities, let's talk about the job prospects and what you can expect to essentially earn later on after you finish the MIM. Now, the most common job prospects would be in the field of consulting, project management, operations, business analytics, or marketing. And the common industries would be finance, consumer goods, tech, consulting, almost the same ones that you would see an MBA person essentially pursuing. In fact, I want to give you a live example over here. One of my past clients named Tane over here, you can see his LinkedIn profile, went through us, got into Duke University, one of the very, very best schools for MIM. I would say it's even one of the top 3 for me essentially. And look at what he's doing right now. He's working in Capital One. He has a good job. And even in this time, essentially, you can see, and even though he had a low GPA, essentially, somewhere around the 7 point out of 10, he's actually doing extremely well. And every time I look at profiles of you guys, of people that we have actually worked with and gotten, through to the US or any other country, essentially, we really like to see this because this is what really gives us the satisfaction that what we're doing is mattering. Anyway, let's talk about the average salaries for MIM. As a fresher, you're expected to get somewhere between 65 to 90K US dollars, depending on your location and exactly what kind of a job you get. And I know that this is lower than what an MBA graduate will be getting, but please keep in mind that as you progress through your career, essentially, in 3 to 5 years, you would actually start making many times more than what you would after just getting an MBA. Top firms to work in would be McKinsey, Bain, BCG. You would also have tech employers like Amazon, Google, Deloitte, and PwC. All of these almost on a daily basis are hiring people who are graduating from MIM. Now, as I said, when we talk about the top universities, understand that most universities in Europe really started MIM, and then later on it transitioned to the US. So many universities call it Masters in Management, Masters of Management, all these sort of things, they kind of rotate around each other, but really it's the same thing, MIM. The first university on my list is none other than Duke Fuqua School of Business. The program is Masters of Management Studies. It's located in North Carolina, and the program is brilliant, has an amazing return on investment. In fact, I even showed you one of the alumni from the program. Now, the program is known especially for its strong focus on consulting and general management, and it has some of the most excellent industry connections. So you really start to build a network over there, even if you did not have one before. The average tuition is somewhere around $56,000 per annum. Make sure that you check out the admission statistics on YMGrad.com so you can look into basically what kind of students are getting in, and you can understand a little bit more about whether it's a good fit for you or not. Also, you can connect with some of the previous year's admitted students to this university or any of the other universities basically that you want, by just going onto the decisions page on YMGrad.com, type in the university name, see who has been accepted, and then click on their name and start chat. And you can actually connect with your seniors who have already gotten in, and you will also be able to get some insights. The second one on my list is Ross School of Business. This is University of Michigan, as you already might know. One of the very best again, and this is based out of Michigan. It's strongly known for its high placement rate and strong alumni network in business and consulting. You can check the admission statistics on YMGrad. Average tuition somewhere close to $54,000 essentially. That's what you're spending. Number 3 on my list, Northwestern University, Kellogg School of Management. Again, very famous name, you might have heard of it. The program is called MS in Management Studies or Master of Science in Management Studies. The university is based out of Illinois, and the program is actually very selective but has a very special focus on essentially combining management with liberal arts. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure that you consider Kellogg. The average tuition per annum is somewhere around $60,000. And of course, the rest of the statistics are already on YMGrad.com. The 4th one on my list is University of Notre Dame, Mendoza College of Business. The program is called Master of Science in Management. The location is Indiana, and the major focus is on ethical leadership and career services. That's really where this university shines. The average tuition is $50,000 per annum, and you can check out similar profiles which have gotten accepted along with the admission statistics on YMGrad.com. The 5th one is Boston University Questrom School of Business. You're looking at Masters in Management Studies, and the area, of course, is Boston, Massachusetts. It's a very costly area, but gets you access to amazing schools such as Harvard as well. So you can actually go on to any other campus as well, of course. But with that said, this is a brilliant program because the location is beautiful. It's basically in the hub where a lot of companies, consulting companies essentially are operating. And if you're interested in consulting or finance, Boston is the location to be in. And hence, I would put this on my list. The average tuition is somewhere around $55,000 per year. And of course, as always, rest of the admission statistics, you know where to find them. 6th one is a little bit different. The school is again very close to my heart. I went to the school, so it's University of Southern California, and the school name is Marshall School of Business. The program name is Master of Science in Social Entrepreneurship with a management focus essentially. It's beautifully located in Los Angeles, in California. Literally, it's the most amazing location to be in. The focus, of course, is on leadership and innovation. At the same point in time, there's a startup atmosphere nearby. So you can always essentially, even though California is quite big, you can always essentially see that there's going to be opportunities left and right. Average tuition, $59,000 per annum. And the rest of the statistics, you know where to find them, of course. Now wait, before we actually end this video, I want to talk to you about whether MIM is worth it, because I know many of you will have doubts in your mind. Should I still just get 2-3 years of work ex maybe and then apply for my MBA instead, or should I go for MIM? And I personally think it's not for everyone, but for many of you guys, MIM would be more than worth it. The reason is, number one, there's a massive and quick return on investment. Of course, you're studying for simply about 1 year, of course. And with that said, when you're studying for 1 year, that means you can again quickly get into the industry. You can get access to, in many cases, 3 years of OPD. So 1 year you study, 3 years you get to earn, make money. And with that said, I think it's a very quick return on investment. Second advantage is that MIM is extremely cost effective as compared to an MBA. We're spending at least 100K in many cases. MIM is usually done in some around 60-70K in many of the cases. An MBA, there's no limit. Many people spend 100-150K as well. And finally, number 3 for me would be skill development. So MIM would still help you develop the skills you need to be in a managerial position, even with lesser work experience. So even if you're shifting your field, let's say you're going from engineering to or arts essentially to management, that's all possible with the help of MIM. There are certain considerations. Number 1 would be return on investment. MIM is great. It would get you a pretty decent return, but it's still not as high a salary as an MBA. Of course, keep in mind that you're spending more on MBA as well. And if you qualify, and that would be my second point, if you qualify, that is, if you have a significant experience, it may not be worth going for an MIM program as compared to an MBA program. Given that you already have experience, you want to boost in your salary, you want to boost essentially in the ecosystem of management, then it probably makes sense that if you're experienced candidate, you should go for an MBA, not an MIM. So in conclusion, if you're a recent graduate and you're looking to shift into management, MIM is the right fit for you. Now with that, I understand that you may still have questions, doubts, and you might not be sure if it is still the right fit for you. That's completely fine. In that case, you can WhatsApp me and I'll be happy to connect with you and discuss more in depth about your particular case. My number is in the description. Apart from that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this with everyone who needs to know everything about MIM essentially, because this video provides you a general overview of the entire program. And finally, also find me on Instagram, follow me over there so that we can stay connected, and I have a lot of schemes over there, a lot of application fee waiver codes, scholarships that I keep on posting out, so you might actually benefit. I hope this video helps. For now, this is all. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care until next time.